What are your thoughts? You're about halfway through at this point.
Yeah, it's amazing that 6 practices are already done. We got the scrimmage on Thursday. That'll be the really intent of all of our focus here over the next 48 hours. Even this tape, we'll wipe this tape pretty quick. Thought I did a really good job today kind of simulating a lot of game-like stuff. Second down play, it's team tempo periods, red zone knockout where you're playing it, move the ball, kind of all simulations to make sure we're ready for Thursday. But the message to the coaching staff is I don't want to see guys winning schematically. Who can win in technique, who can win in finish, who can do the basics better. Don't get into competitive mode and let's see what these guys can do, in our hard work through 6 practices. So still trying to forge and figure out the identity of this team a little bit. A lot of quiet guys out there right now. We need to be, from a leadership standpoint, I want some of those guys to rise, in those moments. So trying to figure that out, and Thursday will be a big day.
How do you get them to rise?
Yeah, it's got to be player driven. I can't come in here every day and give them a great motivational speech to go out there and be hungry. It isn't the work. We're working hard. Just some guys are just such in their little tight, silo instead of, hey, let's have a big picture of the team. We'll get some of those corrections on tape. At the end, I want everyone focused on the action and having a little fun playing and competing. So we'll get to that on Thursday. I'm sure there'll be a little anxiety walking in the building. But they played this game a million times, so just go out there and have fun.
Did you say that's probably the number one thing you want to see on Thursday?
Oh, no, hell no. I want to see physicality. Okay, I want to see the line of scrimmage. It's a big day for our O-line. I think every day you see some bright spots, and then sometimes that bright spots fades the next day. Consistently guys are moving pieces. Tolu played both or today, which we will need him to. I want to see some physicality line of scrimmage. I want to see who can break a tackle. The hardest thing ever is to move the ball in practice during thud, right? You're going against the 85 Bears. They never miss a tackle, right? Quick whistles. So who can make some plays in space? Quarterbacks making some good decisions. Defensive backfield communication, which has been a little bit high and low through the first 6. So those are kind of some of the things that I want to see.
You look like the secondary today wasn't getting beat the way it did last week. You commented that they were giving up the explosive plays. You look like we've seen some improvement with the secondary in the past couple of days.
Well, off of that practice 4 tape, Tony, there wasn't too many easy conversations, I'll say that. We control communication, okay? And as coaches, we control the execution and put our guys in better positions. So it was some new guys. It was some, new stuff, but I feel like we've done a good job adjusting and being coachable. I think Rue's really taken a really vocal leadership role back there. He's the commander of the defense as the free safety. We need other guys like Cordell Bartley to take that next step. I'm starting to hear Miles Turpin communicate a little bit better. So, this is our workspace, and it can never be quiet, especially in the secondary.
Does it take a guy who's been here a while to become that vocal guy?
Yeah, I think that's what I love about Devon Patterson. He's demanding it out of the young guys. You got to understand, this isn't high school ball, or this isn't wherever you were at. We're relying on each other. Right? And if you're a star and free safety isn't communicating motion or your corner's not talking to you, I can't do my job. So Coach Hayes is elite at talking about the little things that it takes to get on the same page and communicate. One of the biggest things we did at elite level last year, you didn't see a whole lot of busts. Our defense, as amazing as it is, isn't that complicated. Right? There's components to it, but easy ones. And our guys are allowed to play fast within those components. So I think that's what you're seeing, and I think our guys did better than today.
When you have guys like Hayden and Langston that are not going to be in the spring, but they're out there in the huddles and everything, how valuable can that be for the guys that eventually they're going to be playing in front of?
I can't say enough about Aiden Hall right now. Just his leadership, the way he's changed his mentality, what he's doing on and off the field, it's been incredible. So the toughest thing for a leader to do is figure out how to still be that guy when you're not out there. And talk about that competitive spark and fire we need, our biggest spark plugs on the sideline. So I think he's doing a good job of interjecting himself in certain situations. You see him on the field, he's talking shit to me. I love that, spot the ball, coach, let's go. We need that, in a competitive fashion. That's some of the things we're missing on the field. But it's not just him, it's Langston, it's Frank, it's Vaughn, so defense is about 5 guys that bring that and understand what it takes.
How is Aiden as a teacher of the younger guys?
We do a big brother system, and he's been one of the best. Just taking those guys underneath his wings I think that's true maturity, Tony, where you realize, like, man, I got a lot to give others. And I think he's finally to that place where, once again, not just worried about him and his performance. Played great last year, ready to take the next step, but he's worried about the team's performance. Like, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about a little bit when you get out there as far as the competitive energy, is guys that are comfortable in what they're doing, that they can give some of their energy to the team. Sorry. I'm kind of hitting you with a hand there.
I got ball
So,
security.
yeah, you do. So I think, like, that's what I'm most proud of those guys for doing that, and Aiden in particular. All right, appreciate you guys.
What have you liked so far?
You know what? The guys are starting to, really it's the new guys are starting to kind of embrace what the old guys already have. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to see guys like we were really good last year because everyone strained to do their job, you know what I mean, and they understood the importance. It takes time to teach that, you know what I mean. That's like the lightning in a bottle you get from one year to the next, and you don't know if you can catch it every year. But the group that's coming in is they're embracing it, you know what I mean. They're getting a lot of reps because some of our, let's be real, we got some of the guys who aren't taking reps, you know. So as they go through, you know, if you can rest, or some of the older dudes are out, that just means more reps for everybody else, and it's good to see them learning and messing up, you know, and figuring out what to do.
Yeah, when you're looking at a defense and are you trying to envision what it'll look like with Aiden, Frank, Langston, Devon?
Well, I think it's more basic than that. It's more like, listen, learn fundamentals, learn, understand how to play together. It doesn't matter, you know, someone's going to have an edge and someone's going to have the next gap and the next. And so teaching those fundamentals right now is more important than, hey, who's really can. You know, you like the new guys to say, hey, can this guy rush, or can this guy cover, who can do what, you know, but you're learning those are fundamental things. And then how the defense evolves will really be when we get those guys back.
What's the role some of these guys are playing who you know you're going to have in the fall? Someone like Aiden, someone like Devon. What's the role they're playing out there while they're on the sidelines and camp playing?
You know, that's a good question. Those guys have been like, and you saw it the first couple of days, you know, they go do their own rehab stuff sometimes, and we had them in there during some team periods, and you could see, like, because it's some of those dudes are our strongest leaders, our strongest influence, you know, and we were like, well, let's switch that around. So when they get, you know, the guys together before a team period, when they take the field, they do all that, they get in there and be like, no, it's still, this is how we do things, you know what I mean? So that's been good that they've been around. And then a lot of times, you know, we'll go out there and we'll just call defenses, you know, and certain times and not script it. So I'll grab those dudes and be like, hey, what do you want? What do you want? Okay, you got the first down, you got the, you know, let's say they stay engaged and they can call some plays and do all that kind of stuff. It's easy.
How are they at calling the plays?
They're pretty good. You know, they got a good hit rate right now. You know, they do. I make fun of it, but it's like, yeah, what do you want? Okay, this. Oh, that's TFL. Good job.
You had some stretches in camp where the defense was giving up some explosive plays. The exact opposite of what happened last year. Last year, you guys gave up next to nothing explosive plays. Saw a little bit of it in camp, but it looks like it's getting better now in the past couple of days.
Yeah, you know, I think that to really understand your role, whoever you are, whether you're a safety or backer, you got something that you take a corner, you have to get burned and scarred by that. You have to give up a big play to truly learn, oh, that's why we do it. So, you know, for us, we look at it and say, you know, you don't get really scored on here, and, you know, nobody wins. So the good news is it's okay to do that. And then it's a teaching tool. And hopefully it scars them because they don't want to get run down the field. So as you know, our offense puts in new things and tries some new shots on us, I'm sure we'll give up some more, and then the guys will learn why these are the rules, especially the guys who haven't played a bunch, and then it'll go back and forth, and we'll see how it ends up at the end. Good. Thanks, guys. See ya. Yep.
What have you liked so far in spring ball?
Man, I love this team, bro. Running to the ball, getting back into it. I'm just tired. I was tired of sitting. You know what I mean? Football season started again. You running, you having fun, you playing with your guys. You get to really see the team mesh and create chemistry and become one. So that's really the thing I love to see as spring ball started.
What's different about this year's group now that you guys, a lot of you have been here for a year instead of however many transfers and freshmen were all new here last spring?
Yeah. Definitely a lot of new players, a lot of young faces, a lot of new personalities, but I think everybody still has the same goals. But, you know, at the same time, we got to create a new identity, right? Because it can't be the same as the old one. And I think it's just been a fun journey. I think everybody's started to just come along in their own way, you know, getting their roles. I'm trying to find my role because it's not the same as last year, right? everything changes. So just everybody's trying to mesh. But I think it's been going good so far. Journey's still a long way to go, though. Still a long way to go.
What goes into finding your new role? What's that process for you?
Every day, waking up, weight room, seeing what the team needs, you know what I mean, from an energy standpoint, leadership standpoint, in the locker room. Guys need guidance, you know what I mean? I'm a senior now, so it's definitely a bigger role, and I'm very highly aware. Coaches depending on you a little more, you know what I mean? So things of that nature, and leadership.
Jake said he's looking for guys to be more vocal leaders, that he's looking for guys to, he's got some guys who can be leaders, but they're kind of quiet. Who are you, the vocal leader for the defensive line? Tell me who's out there being the vocal guy.
Well, vocal leaders for the D line, you gotta say Zach Lohovichin. Been here for like 8 years, 22 years. So definitely, gotta rock behind him. He's a vocal leader. I'm a vocal leader definitely for my guys, just helping them see, like the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? When things get hard, it's hard to get through practice, or it's hard to make plays, or hard to forget about the last play that you messed up. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I help encourage others, encourage. You know what I mean? If you're juiceless, you're useless. That's what we say in our room. But probably me is that for the most part in the D-line room.
How many times have you been juiceless?
Every time I've been juiceless, look, some days you come in, you know what I mean? You're not feeling the hottest, but that doesn't mean the mission changes, man. So, you know what I mean? Even if you're not feeling it, you still got to come in every day. So, even if you're not going to got the juice, you better find it. You better pray for it. You better look for it. You better ask somebody for some juice.
If you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Feel me? But that's another good thing too. Is like we don't leave nobody behind.
I'm good.
Class.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
Hustle off to class.
What have you learned about Wake since being here?
What I learned, everybody's nice, down here compared to where I'm from, Miami, South Florida. Everybody's way nicer. I feel like it's a real family-oriented, program here, and I love it.
Southern hospitality ends the further you go south. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
extend
yeah.
all the way down to the bottom?
Everybody's way more nicer here. I feel like way more nicer.
What's been the biggest adjustment to playing at Wake Forest and going to school at Wake Forest and what you had down there?
The biggest adjustment, I didn't really have no problem adjusting. I graduated already, so I wanted to, go to class, watch class around the campus and stuff. So, it ain't been hard, especially having guys around helping me, making sure I'm good. It's been really easy, to be honest.
If you're a Blades, do you have a choice of whether you're going to play football or not, or is it just like a given?
You can say it's a given, but yeah, I had a choice. Actually, my dad didn't want me to play football, but I just grew up wanting to be like him. It was destiny, I feel like. So, I grew up loving football, and I'm here now.
How did those conversations go between him not wanting you to play football and here you are?
I top of my head, I can remember like when I was younger, but now he talks to me. He was here for a couple practices. He just left yesterday, so we can have our conversation when we get back. Give me a little game and tips. It'd be nice.
Why didn't he want you to play?
I forgot what he told me. I think it was like just the physicality part. He didn't want me to go through like all the injury stuff he went to and stuff like that. So, but God had a different plan.
What does he coach you harder than coaches here?
When I was younger, yeah, he definitely did. But as I got older, he just started just explaining things, and like as much as you gotta instill it in you. I kind of know the game now, so he just give me no tips and reminders now.
Is there any pressure to live up to the legacy of the name? Do you feel any pressure to live up to the family legacy?
Growing up, I was like really hard on myself about it, but as I got older, I became more mature about it, and it's me, it's my life, so God has a plan for me, and I'm gonna go with it.
Do you feel like there are others who, there's the name recognition, and so they expect something from you?
Oh yeah, that makes me, every day I gotta come out here and do my thing every day just because of that, so I have my own expectations. I feel like my expectations are higher than everybody else's, so I'm going for my goals.
You got teammates who they got parents, they got dads who played in the NFL and have their own family legacy. There's something different about the Wake Forest roster, right? I mean,
yeah.
you got Hardy, you got Kershke, you got families who played in the NFL. That's different.
Yeah, that's good. You know, you got guys that grew up, you know, under the football game, and you know, it's go out there and make some plays.
What's different about this defense compared to previous ones?
I feel like I didn't adjust, adjusting to the defense. It wasn't too hard for me because like the defense last year is kind of similar where I was at, so it wasn't too hard. You know, I came in, you know, a little different language, so I just get understanding that, and then it was good.
When you're in the portal and you're looking, how much of a role does it play that Karan Prunty and Ladarius Webb came here as transfers, and one of them even missed the spring, or both of them basically missed the spring, and they had such successful seasons.
Yeah.
Do you look at that type of
Yeah,
thing and
yeah.
make your decision on
Yeah,
that?
seeing that, you know, both of the coaches had success being here, you know, it's like, why wouldn't I come here? You know, Coach Jackson is a great coach, so I feel like I'd be successful here.
Is there a lifestyle change to living in Winston-Salem compared to what you were
in the
used
beginning,
to?
when the snow, that was my first time seeing snow. So when that came, I was happy. But then like 2 days later, it turned to ice, and I was over with. And like, my car wouldn't move. I was so mad. But when that went away, you know, it's been okay. You know, it's quiet. You know, nothing too much, less distractions. So it's been good too.
What kind of car?
Oh, I drive a Honda. You know, my Honda. My first car I still got it. Not giving it away. That's my baby right there.
Yeah, my first car was a Honda. It
Most
doesn't-
reliable car.
It doesn't do very well in the snow.
Oh yeah, it was. My wheels was turning and stuff. I was stuck in the parking lot for like 3 days. I had to catch rides. I was so mad.
So since you already graduated and you know you're here as a grad student, what kind of class load you taking here?
Not a lot. You know, I have online classes, so I'm able to do that and really focus more on football in this last year.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.